This video is meant to show you some of the options in Lightorama Sequence Editor's new musical sequence options dialog. There are a bunch of options in that dialog. We won't be going over all of them in this video. Some of them we'll leave for future videos. In this video in particular, we want to show some of the very basic options in the dialog, which are options about the sequence itself. For example, who created the sequence, and information about the music used in the sequence. So to begin with, let's start by clicking on the New button to create a new sequence. Select New Musical Sequence and then click OK. It asks us to select the media file that'll be used, in other words, the song file that we will use to create this sequence, and this song will be played whenever the sequence is played. Select one of them, click Open. And here is the new musical sequence options dialog. Now, as I said, there are a bunch of options in it. For now, in this video, we'll just deal with this option here, author of the new sequence, and these options here, which are about the music used in the sequence. These other options we'll leave for other videos. So the first thing is the author of the sequence. It's completely optional. You don't have to have it in there if you don't want, but you can put it in there. So, for example, I am the author of this sequence since I'm creating it right now. So I'll put in my name and then click on OK. And this is purely for informational purposes. You can go to the View menu whenever this sequence is open from now on. Go to the View menu and Sequence Info, and one of the things that it will tell you is that it's created by me, Bob. Click on OK here to get out of this sequence info, and you can also, generally speaking, modify sequence info by going to the Edit menu and then selecting sequence info from there rather than from the View menu. And you'll see again in here it's created by Bob, but you cannot modify this piece of information. It's there permanently. So once you've said that this sequence is created by you, it will be in there from then on. And so that's about it for the author of the sequence. Oh, you'll notice it also says created at, and then the time the sequence was created at. That information cannot be modified either. However, if you get a sequence from someone else, and they are Bob and you are Frank, you can put in that it was modified by Frank. And then if you go to the View menu, whenever this sequence is open, you'll see it was created by Bob, but modified by Frank. That information is editable via Edit Sequence Info. So if Francine comes along later and modifies it, she can wipe out that it was modified by Frank and say that it was modified by Francine if she wanted to. Only the sequence author information can't be modified in this way. So that's about it for the sequence author. Now let's go back to the new musical sequence options dialog to see the other options. These are all about, in this section, these are all about the music used in the sequence. And you'll see that here, this information has already been populated automatically. It's the song Daddy I'm Fine by Sinead O'Connor on the Faith and Courage album. The reason why it was populated automatically was because I'm using an MP3 file, and that MP3 file already has this information in it. So Lightorama pulled it out of the MP3 file and stuck it into these fields here. Now, not in all cases will this be populated, so you might have to put it in yourself if you want it. Again, this is totally optional information. You can also modify it if you want to, even though it's already populated. So, for example, if I would rather not see O'Connor, Sinead, I would rather see Sinead O'Connor, I can just make that change just by typing in the field myself. And then click on OK. And again, this is something that you can go to the View menu and see Sequence Info. And you'll see this information is now in here. Music artist, music title, and music album. Sinead O'Connor, Daddy I'm Fine, Faith and Courage. And similarly to before, we can go to the Edit menu and then Sequence Info, and we can change it. So for example, if I do like it O'Connor, Sinead, I can make it that way. And now in View Sequence Info, it will show up that way. Now mostly, again, similarly to the author of the sequence, these things are mostly for informational purposes, so you don't really need them, but they might be nice to have just for information. There's one possible use of them, which I'll mention briefly here, but I'm not going to show you how to do it. It'll be a subject for another video, which is in the Edit menu, Windows command. This allows you to specify any Windows shell command that you want to run. And so, for example, a lot of people use it for what's called RDS, I believe, which is a way of transmitting text information over radio broadcast. So you might see it on like your car radio. When a song comes on, it might say the name of the song on your radio's display. And there's a way in this Windows shell command to automatically pull out fields such as the name of the song and stick them in this the command to be executed without actually saying specifically what the name of the song is. Instead, you can say, at this point, just put in the name of the song. And whatever the name of the song is, that'll be stuck in there. So it does make it a little more convenient if you're using Windows shell commands. Again, I'm not going to get into the Windows shell commands in any detail in this video, but that's basically the one use for those types of fields. Other than that, they're mostly for informational purposes. So I guess that's about it for this video. I hope this helps.